Welcome! This is Trekking Information Mountain, an introduction to information literacy, brought to you by Darton State College's QEP program, Making Information Click. What is information literacy? According to Darton State College, it's the ability to obtain, evaluate, and use information effectively. This is Information Mountain. Every day we are bombarded with all kinds of information and we don't quite know what to do with it all. We get news, all kinds of textbooks, and then with the internet we have access to everything under the sun. Let's learn how to manage it. Let's go to the Information Literacy Center. Here you'll see a new student named Alfred, and he's going to go on a little adventure. Alfred says, "Dude, I have to write a research paper. I'm clueless, like information overload." And the nice lady in the lab says, "Don't worry, I've got a system that will help you in no time. Pretend you're preparing to climb up a mountain. Information mountain. Let's go." First, let's look at our map. The first part of our journey is knowing. That's identifying the type and amount of information needed. And then we move up to accessing. That's knowing where and how to locate information. And from there, we go to evaluating. We have to determine if the information we find is useful or truthful. And then we use that information. We use it to demonstrate our thesis statement or the purpose for our research project. And last but not least, we reach the pinnacle with ethical and legal usage, which is primarily giving credit when credit is due. So that's 5 easy steps to climb up the research mountain and be successful. Let's go. Step 1, knowing. What do I need to know? Well, first, you need to know your assignment guidelines. Secondly, you need to have a specific topic. Know what it is you are researching. What kind of info do I need? Well, if it's for a school project, you most likely need scholarly information. That's information obtained from subject experts. They are primarily published in books, professional journals, and some professional websites. How much info do I need? Generally, you need enough information to cover all the bases of your topic. Again, check your assignment details. Your professor may have designated a specific number or types of sources that he wants you to use. Step 2, accessing the information. Where do I find this info? Scholarly articles are most often found in databases such as the collection in Galileo. Books can be located using Gil Find. Am I using the best search terms? Here are some search strategy tips. Use the research topic you have identified, pick out the 3 most important concepts, and list them. For example, You could be writing a paper on the pros and cons of senior citizens driving. So let's pick out three key words. The first one is senior citizens. Then we have driving. And let's choose cons because we want to see why it's not a good idea. And then also from there, identify some synonyms or related terms for each concept. Because sometimes the word that you use may not be the most technical term that you'll find in the results list. For example, senior citizen might pull up things about seniors in high school. So let's get more specific and say elderly people or geriatric. And instead of just saying driving, let's choose automobile drivers. That might find us some articles on different age groups. And then like the pros and cons of it, just think about it as caring for the senior citizens and making decisions for them. Sometimes we can find new search terms using the subject listing from our initial search. Here's a little clip from an article that I found. Look down where it says subject-LC, and you'll see that's where I got the words automobile drivers and decision making. Now, moving on up to step 3, evaluating the information. How do I recognize a credible source of information? Well, the easiest solution is using the professional databases found in Galileo. Those are reliable. Those sources have been compiled by librarians and other subject experts. Easy citations, available anywhere, and preferred by most professors. But sometimes you do need to do an open web search, and that's fine. Just be careful of the sources that you find and evaluate them carefully. Remember, you be the judge. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. For example, websites that end in .edu and .gov, you can pretty much trust those because those come from educational sites and the government. Websites that end in .org, they may be reliable, but investigate the agency's legitimacy. Anybody can start an organization. Check to see how long they've been around and if they are a credible agency. Websites that end in .com, I say maybe about that, but be careful. Whenever you do your search on Google or Yahoo or your other favorite search engine, usually at the top you get commercials. So make sure you don't choose those. Those commercials are trying to sell you something. So any kind of data that you find there may be skewed to suit their purposes. Should I consider opposing viewpoints? It's only logical. Knowing the opposing viewpoint can strengthen your argument. Also, reading the opposing viewpoint may even shift your own opinion. At the very least, you can understand the opposing party's reasons for their stance. Step 4. Using the information. How should I present my information? Refer to your assignment details. Did your professor give specific instructions, or are you free to present it in the way you see fit? If you need assistance, visit the Information Literacy Center or the Writing Center. And finally, step 5, using info ethically and legally. So what is plagiarism anyhow? Plagiarism is not giving credit to someone else's thoughts or works. Plagiarism occurs when an information source is not properly cited. Well, what do I cite? Remember, give credit where credit is due. You cite words that you quote, words you summarize, words you paraphrase, photographs, charts and graphs, speech or audio recordings, video resources. In other words, cite anything somebody else created. That's just good common sense. How do I cite? Good questions. Refer to your assignment details. Did your professor instruct you to use MLA, APA, or another style? MLA is primarily used in the humanities, English, art, that kind of thing. APA is primarily used in the sciences, psychology, nursing, education. You get the picture. If you need assistance, just visit the Information Literacy Center or even the Writing Center. We can usually steer you in the right direction. Awesome! You've made it to the top of the mountain. And you completed all 5 levels, which again to review is knowing the information needed, accessing where and how to locate the information, evaluating its usefulness or truthfulness, using the information to demonstrate your purpose or your thesis, and ethical use, giving credit when due.